Welcome, everybody, to the Mental Edge podcast from the inside out. I'm so excited today. This is episode 1, and today I'm going to introduce you to Alex Ostendorf. He's my guest, and
Season 1, episode 1. Wow.
here we go.
hmm
And we have a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yes.
And you don't know, Alex, first of all, Alex is my son. He's also a mental strength coach for my company, So Connected. My name is Stacy Goodrich, and welcome. And this podcast is all about talking inside out mentality because we've got so much going on from the outside in for most of our athletes and people, meaning we are telling people what to do, right? We're telling them to get out of their head, telling them to stop overthinking it. Just do it. Don't think about it. And that's a good idea, right?
Right.
When
Yeah,
people,
the do this, do that. Don't do this, don't do that. Do this, don't do that. Don't. Constant, right? Or constantly getting
corrections.
information. Outside information coming in, right? So you're talking to me right now. That's like outside coming in, and I'm listening to you. That's kind of what that means.
And telling people what to do.
Yeah.
And which it's not that that's not important and it's not that that's not valuable.
Right.
Outside in coaching is extremely valuable because people don't know what to do.
Yeah.
The problem happens when an athlete tries to just do it,
hmm
but it doesn't work.
hmm
It's that first time that the doing strategy, so to speak, doesn't work. And when that happens, the athlete, their mind and their body get disconnected. And then all kinds of things get between the mind and the body.
hmm
So for instance, when your sister, my daughter, came home from practice, she's a gymnast. And when she was 9, she came home from practice one day and she said, Mom, Sarah asked me to do a back walkover on the high beam and I couldn't do it. And at the time, like every other mother in the world, I said, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out. And she was like, that's not going to work.
What do you mean?
Yeah, if
I'm not
that
gonna
would have
figure it
worked,
out. Like, what do you
I would
mean?
have done it.
Yeah, like it's not. You tried to help her out by saying like it'll be okay, but that wasn't a solution.
Exactly. That's what all parents do.
Yeah,
And that's what most coaches are doing. Oh, get out of your head. Don't think about it. Because that's what her
yeah,
coaches said to her.
yeah,
And she was like, that's not going to work either.
yeah.
But what happens is the athlete, when the coaches say that, the athlete tries to, like, I got to just get out of my head. I got to just do it. But the problem with that is those thoughts and their mentality, then we're trying to move around it or cope with it, or what happens is now we're just trying to do it.
hmm Yeah,
And so this episode is about understanding what's going on, what happens when our mind gets in our way, a mental block, a mental disconnect, and a solution to that mentality. So
hmm
people can understand how to take care of themselves. They can understand how to manage themselves in a situation so that they can maximize their opportunity.
yeah,
So they can go after what they want. We want hard work to pay off, but hard work only pays off if we go after the outcome that we want and we know how to do that.
hmm
Because
yeah.
if you're working with an NFL football player, a lot of times, probably 80 to 90% of the guys who make it to the NFL are just doing the doing strategy.
hmm
They're just doing it.
hmm
They got to the NFL by not having to think about what they needed to do.
Yeah,
So the doing strategy is when I could just kick out my mind and just do it. And that's what most people, that's what they thrive on. That's what they want to do. That's what most
When you
coaches
say like
want athletes to do.
when you say kick out my mind, can you explain that a little more? Like on like the what does that mean when you kick out your mind, like of your own head? You know what I mean?
Well, when coaches tell athletes to do that, that's what causes them to not know where to go from there. How do I
Oh,
do
like
that?
they're telling them to stop thinking, but they
Yes.
can't stop thinking. about it.
It's like when Olivia's coach said, get on the high beam and do a back walkover, and she couldn't do it. What
Mm-hmm.
happens is she was trying to just do it, but the
Mm-hmm.
doing strategy didn't work, and she wasn't aware that that's what she was doing. And then her mind got in her way, and it disconnected her mind from her body.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but
And when you say her mind got in her way, that could be it's different for everybody. That's where thoughts could be happening, like fear, energy that you don't want, like whatever it is. That's when your mind gets in your way.
exactly.
Okay.
And I'll explain A circle and how to manage that
Mm-hmm.
in just a bit.
Okay.
But what is so valuable for people to be able to understand is that when people are just doing it, it's an unconscious process. It's not like they're thinking about what they're doing. Their body is in control. Their mind is not in their way, and it does what it does.
Okay.
And then, but the day that it doesn't work, it could have been, I always use the example, Olivia was 9 and Simone Biles was in her second Olympics when the doing strategy didn't work.
Yeah.
Right? And most people are somewhere in between there when the doing strategy doesn't work. But by teaching Olivia that she can kick out her mind and just do it, that idea takes the athlete from an unconscious process that's controlling them to I'm deciding to just do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to kick out my mind and do it. That's an option.
So what was automatic before now is kind of a controlled automatic?
No, it's taking an unconscious process, a thought process that's controlling me,
Mm-hmm.
to I'm deciding to choose to do what I want to do. And in this case, I'm going to just do it.
Okay.
But you also need to help athletes understand what modality works best for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't connect our mind to our body and have a way to do that in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
then when something goes wrong, what do I
Like
do?
hit the post yesterday, our kicker hit the post twice, right?
Exactly. And so
Well, I know we were going to talk a little bit more about that, but I kind of wanted to give a little teaser to people about like how this is going to connect with like this podcast. We're talking about these kind of big events or big issues, and we can dissect them, talk about them, work through that, find the solution to the perceived problem. I think that's what you're really good at and going to be able to show the audience of like, well, look at if you would have done it this way. Well, you just have a way different paradigm that you look through that I think that's the value that we want to show to other people. So that made me think of like when you said his mind and his body were not on the same page. I saw Will Reichert, the kicker for the Vikings yesterday, in that state of mind. So that just made me think of that.
exactly. And that's the difference between somebody being connected mentally to what they're doing physically and not being connected to what they're doing physically.
Right.
And
He didn't have the mental edge.
he did not.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not completely disconnected, but he's definitely got things going on in his head that are preventing him from just being able to do it.
And are completely valid. Whatever it is, I don't know. We can take guesses, right? But whatever it is, it's valid. If it's like, oh, if I miss this kick, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my career. I'm going to lose my house. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's valid. That is in his head about worried about missing this kick.
Yeah. And what's in his A, you're talking about what's in his A circle, but first of all, if people understand that they can just do it, they can choose to just do the doing strategy. But if they also have a new place to land, when the doing strategy doesn't work, which our kicker does not have right now, which is one of the things that I wish he did know.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he understood how to manage himself physically, what strategy works best for him, does he feel his way through the kick, see his way through, talk his way through, think his way through, or some kind of combination? Mm-hmm. What's valuable for people is to understand what they can do mentally to stay connected to their body physically so that they know what to do in the moment. So when things get crazy and there's a lot of pressure, he can stay focused on what works best for him and how to kick the ball.
Be in the zone.
And that's how you help people get into the zone and stay in the zone.
Okay.
Most people will speak about the zone as kind of like almost an out of body experience where they were just so connected.
Like
and
dialed in or focused or.
Yeah, nothing, everything kind of, all the noise goes away and they're completely in the zone. Well, we can teach that by helping people understand that that's a mind, when people are in the zone, they are so connected, what I call. Their mind and their body are on the same page. Their conscious mind and unconscious mind are congruent. That who they are is connected to what they do in an alignment and a linear perspective, that when you behave from that mentality, you are doing your best. You are playing to your potential in that moment.
Okay.
And so that's what inside out mentality is all about. That's what we want people to be aware, that they can do that. And the simple strategy is understanding the doing strategy. You have a choice to kick things out of your mind and do it. The learning strategy and what you're talking about is what's in your head, what a circle. Okay, so we teach a technique called a circle, and whatever's in your a circle is what's controlling you or what's making decisions for you in that situation. Everybody has an A circle, a B circle, and a C circle. And if whatever's in my A circle is what's controlling me or what's making decisions for me, that's A circle. B circle are people or things that support you to make a decision, or they can influence your decisions, but they're not making it for you. And C circle is everything else outside of that, or everything else that doesn't matter. Now, we can have lots of things in our A circle. Like Alex was talking about, we can have people. Think of a young hockey player or a young gymnast, or you when you were 10 and you were playing football, right? You probably had your dad, who was your coach, in your A circle. You probably had your teammates in your A circle at times that were affecting you. You may or may have had, your opponents in your A circle. You probably had some thoughts in your A circle. I don't want to upset my dad. I don't want to do it wrong. What if I mess up? Those thoughts can be in our A circle. And we can also have energy. Athletes and people can have anxiety in their A circle. We can have confidence in our A circle. We can have worry or, anything. Food. We can have lots of things in our A circle. And it's not what's in our A circle that matters. It's our perception of that controls our behavior. So my daughter, when her coaches said, get on the high beam and do a back walkover, and she couldn't do it, what was in her A circle is, what if I upset my coach? Right?
Okay, so because she was thinking about that, she wasn't focused on her job, or she didn't know what to do because she was thinking about that. Right?
Well, that's not even what she was thinking about. That's just what was controlling her. That was in her A circle. Okay. And she didn't know she had an A circle at that time.
Oh, that's good to point out, because that was kind of my next question, was like, so A circle it's a mental concept, right? That we're bringing that's in our unconscious mind, like in the deep part of our mind, and we're bringing it forward. So we can see, like, unconsciously what is controlling us, and we're using a tool like a circle to bring that to light. Is that?
Yes, a circle provides the ability for us to be aware of what was controlling us unconsciously in the past. Because with the awareness that now you have an A circle, now when things happen, you're going to be aware of your thoughts, of the pressure, of the different things that are in your A circle. And with that awareness, it offers space between you and your thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
that were once controlling you unconsciously. With that conscious awareness, now you can control them. You can
Right.
manage that. So for our kicker, the solution, since he hit the post twice yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and he missed two, maybe three.
I can't remember for sure.
Anyway, forgive me for not knowing the perfect stats, but if he understood that he has an A circle, he might have thoughts like, I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
What if I don't make it?
Or I know he got injured, like 4 or 5 weeks ago. He may be thinking, oh, I hope I don't get injured again. You know.
Injury could be in his A circle controlling him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think
so,
that's the important A circle, like what you just taught. A circle is the product that you created that can be used in a way. It's something that no one has ever had before. The idea that you can find out what is controlling you automatically or unconsciously or mentally, you can understand what is controlling you and have awareness to it, and then you can decide what you want to do. It's much more empowering. That doesn't mean that it's easy, right? It doesn't mean that whatever's in your A circle you can just pick out and be done with, or whatever the problem is. It doesn't mean that it's easy, but now you have the awareness to make a plan, to come up with a solution, to maybe have a different option or to choose something different. And I think that's what's so valuable for anybody. But, think about an NFL team. And if everybody on that team knew that they had an A circle and knew how to use A circle, I mean, when you're aware of the problems and then it makes it so much easier to come up with a plan and see like, oh, what's my solution?
then you can decide if you want to continue to have that in your A circle or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I have pressure in my A circle, pressure is not necessarily good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if I perceive it as bad, it's going to control me.
Yeah.
It's going to kick me out of my body.
Yeah.
Or if I have a thought, like I don't want to mess it up, well, then that thought is in my A circle controlling me, and it's preventing me from being able to just do the doing strategy, which is what the kicker really wants to do.
Right.
So,
right. And I think you bring up pressure is a good thing, because pressure can be really good for you because you're doing the doing strategy. You're riding high in Alabama, like roll tide, and you don't miss anything. You do great. And then you come to the NFL, which is also a lot of pressure. You do great. But then you miss, or then you get injured. And then that's just my opinion, what I think happened with our kicker.
he came into the NFL doing the doing strategy,
Yep.
and it worked very well to get to the NFL. And then one day he missed a kick and it didn't work. And now his mind is in his A circle.
Yeah.
And now his mind is controlling him, and he doesn't understand what to do because he's never had to do anything different than the doing strategy.
Right. Like we could be fair and say, well, maybe he missed the one because he got injured or whatever.
Well, I don't know. Whatever's in his A circle is what's controlling him.
Right.
And that's what I don't want him to be the scapegoat when he misses a kick in the first playoff game and he gets fired.
Yeah, because I feel like the people watching the game yesterday, when it was 10-27 in like the beginning of the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden we're 25-27. And the Vikings are.
No, I don't even care about, well, yes, I hear you, but I don't want to be, I'm like one of the number one Viking fans in the, we all can say that. And we are all tired of seeing the Vikings do really, really well and then miss the first playoff game. And 9 out of 10 times it happens where there's a guy who doesn't mentally understand how to take care of himself and he chokes, and then he's the scapegoat and he gets fired, and then we move on to the next year.
Yeah.
No. Let's have a solution so that our kicker can stay connected, stay in his body, kick the ball the way he knows he can, understand.
And the other guys.
So that he's not the scapegoat for when the coach fires him because he misses a kick and he loses a game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the coaching staff doesn't know how to take care of that issue and fill in that gap from the inside out because they only do the outside in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here to say, right? It's like, I want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl. And if they can understand how to help this kicker do what he knows he can do, and then manage his A circle. And if you're right, if every guy in the team knew how to do that, that's going to shift the entire process. And can we play to win instead of play to not lose for a game?
Mm-hmm.
Right? We
Yeah,
play
because
to
it
not
felt
lose.
like we were playing to win for a little bit, but I feel like if we were playing to win, it would have been 50-10 and not,
Yes.
like we played to win for 3 quarters, but it really seemed like the fourth quarter, then we had to leave it up to our kicker at the end. Like it's unfair to him, first of all, that we put all this pressure on him because we couldn't play to win throughout the game. So then when it really comes down to it, last minute, we're up by 2, a field goal for them wins the game. Like that shouldn't be a thing.
But I think that coming back to the mentality of and being able to understand that the doing strategy is an option. If people can just kick their mind out and just do it and let their body be in their A circle and keep their mind out, that's what 99% of those guys want to do in the NFL. They don't want to have to think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Adam Thielen, on the other hand, he didn't get to the NFL by just doing it. He had to understand for him how he did things, and because he wasn't he didn't just get there by doing it. He thinks about how he needs to do it, and that's what makes him a really good player over time. He understands for himself how he's doing it better than a lot of the guys who are just so, come into the NFL just being able to do it because of their talent.
Right.
But at the end of the day, them understanding that and them being able to know for them what works best. It's like when Olivia called me from Ball State and she said our mental skills coach here told us that she said I need to visualize myself on the beam.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, when I do that, I see myself on the side of the beam. I'm like, yeah, don't do that. That doesn't work for you. When people are told what to do, visualize yourself doing it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Think of baking while you're pitching. I've heard everything.
Mm-hmm.
And why can't we just think about what we're doing and how we need to do it?
Yeah.
Right? For my daughter, she thinks her way through one piece at a time. Flip, cord, tight, toes, whatever. Look at the beam. So everybody, when they understand the modality that they use to stay connected to their body, then that gives them a way to practice it, a way to use it over time to build that strength with what works best for them to stay focused and stay connected mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If the Vikings all knew that individually and as a team, just imagine what it would look like if every guy was as connected as Patrick Mahomes is while he's playing, but you have that as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be super fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the meantime, I want to get the information to our kicker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because he just needs to understand how to manage his A circle. And he needs to understand that he can learn and be more aware of what works best for him to do as he's kicking the ball 55 yards perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. When he can probably in practice, he can probably hit like a 70-yarder.
Yeah.
He's very talented. Very
I
talented.
mean, he hit 2 out of 3 at 55 yards yesterday.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's very, very talented.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to be the scapegoat of when the Vikings lose. If
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's going to happen,
Well,
but
that's
we've
what,
seen
but
it
you've
happen.
been right. That's what has happened
And
to
how are they preventing that from happening? I
yeah.
haven't seen how they can prevent it so far.
Right. Like, how can you say it's a player issue where we can just replace him when we've done that at least 5 times, like over the last 10 years? Like,
Yeah.
where
And
kicker will choke and miss, and then we'll just be done with him. Good luck. Who knows what? No one hears about him ever again, you know? And then we get this new guy. Oh, he's great. He's great. He came from Alabama. You know, like I was saying to you, I was like, great. Next year, the draft is gonna happen, right? We're gonna draft a kicker in the 7th round from Michigan, and we're gonna be really excited because he's from Michigan now, and he's a winner, and and it's like, well, okay, but what if we already have somebody who's so talented, has made like 30 in a row, and he's just has a little mental block right now that if we work with him, do this, this, and this, and practice it, we won't have that issue, you know?
well, exactly. Then he'll play his best and he won't be the problem.
Right.
And it'll be up to the coaches then to step up and be able to manage the success and, go from there. But that's like another podcast and another topic.
Yeah.
But I hope,
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, like if I'm going to kick, anybody can relate to this with whatever they're doing. If I'm going to kick the ball and I'm thinking in my head, I hope I don't miss, I hope I don't miss, or I hope I don't hit the pole, I hope I don't hit the pole, I'm gonna hit the pole or I'm gonna miss. You
yeah.
know, if I'm
Well,
if
what
I
we're
have
thinking,
that thought process, that's I'm bringing that to me. That's in my A circle. That's what.
yes. When I see a girl fall off the beam, I'll say, what were you thinking when you fell off the beam? And she'll say, I was thinking I didn't want to fall off the beam.
Mhm.
Of course, it's like,
Striking out.
if the Vikings, they had an issue with turning the ball over.
Yes. Don't
Well, I
fumble.
knew
Don't
that the
fumble. Don't fumble.
coaches
Don't fumble.
don't turn the ball over. We don't want to turn the ball over here.
What do they do when you say that? They fumble.
Of course.
They
And
fumble.
so teaching, first of all, you got to teach the athletes to understand that they can decide if they want that in their A circle or not.
Yeah.
And when I'm not fumbling, what do I want to focus on? That's where the learning strategy comes in handy. It's like, okay, yeah,
I
let's,
do want to know. I do want to know what they did differently this year. How come they're not fumbling as much as they did last year? I want to know if they were just like, we're not going to talk about it at all.
no, I think that the
What do
players,
you think? What do you think?
I think that the players just were like unconsciously managing themselves better. They didn't allow the coaches, or they didn't allow that to mentally affect them. The way I think with the confidence of um, Addison, um, who's
And
18
yeah, and our new running back too. I think the confidence with Aaron
or
Jones.
33,
Yeah, our
18,
new running back, like he people were pretty confident with him. So I feel like they were able
AJ.
to get a reset. But here's the thing, they kind of blamed it on the one guy that was fumbling it so much, and they got rid of him. They were, they kind of used him as a scapegoat.
Oh,
So that's kind of sad. Like it didn't have to.
that's my whole point.
Yeah, that's the same with the kicking.
The coaches, unfortunately, the coaches aren't trying to do this, but the coaches are creating a negative mentality and then they can blame the athlete for it.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the back office. I don't know who, you know what I mean,
No,
who.
I mean, it's not that coach's fault that the athletes are doing this. It's just that that's what's happening.
Right.
Coaches don't fumble, don't, blah, 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 if you do this, and then they can use them as a way to not be responsible for the problem.
Yeah.
But they're not solving the problem. They're just putting it off on the athlete.
Hmm.
It's like if a gymnast has a mental block, don't think about it. Just do it. And then when it doesn't work, they can put it back. You're just in your head.
Yeah.
If you just get out of your head, you'd be fine. If
Yeah.
she can do it physically, great. It's just that I get irritated with coaches and parents that tell me that. It's like, well, do you think she doesn't want to do it?
Yeah.
Do you think she's trying to not do it? They're not making the effort. It's like annoying because it's like, Well, you're not understanding the problem, and therefore you can put it back on the athlete. And then she quits, and then you're like, I guess if you would have just gotten out of your head, you would have been fine. Well,
Yeah.
how are you teaching her to do that? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What is a coach doing that's helping these athletes be able to manage themselves mentally? What is a coaching staff in the NFL helping to help these guys manage it mentally? By telling them to be visual doesn't work. But that's what most of the psychologists are saying. By telling them to just do it, don't think about it, get out of their head, that
Or
doesn't.
like in schools too. That we'll just have a growth mindset. You need to have a growth mindset.
Well,
That's
what is a growth mindset? They don't know how to explain what a growth mindset is. I do.
right.
And they're right. You need to keep them in the process. But if you don't teach them what strategy that they can, if they don't know what to do to keep them in the process, then how are they going to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So just to kind of bring it back full circle, the doing strategy, learning strategy, A circle. The doing strategy for everybody out there who's still here with us. The doing strategy is when you can just kick out your mind and let your body do it. You keep your body in your A circle and your mind supports your body with however that works best for you. The learning strategy is thinking about what you're doing as you're doing it, one step at a time. I need to move my body. I need to feel my way through. I need to see my guys. I need to think about my corrections, whatever modality that is, that all athletes understand when I teach them that, how to do that. And A circle, whatever's in your A circle is what's controlling you or what's running the show for you. Don't judge what's in there. Validate what's in there. Yeah, if I have fear in my A circle, fear is only in our A circle to remind us to focus. Anything negative in our A circle is only there to force us to be in our body or to think about things or to pay attention or to protect ourselves. So look at what's in your A circle as not negative so you can manage it. We were working with a coach today, Alex and I, and he's got vertigo. And I said, by embracing that vertigo and working with it, it'll help you move through it so you can use it and then move on from that. But if we're, I don't want to, yeah, if I'm trying to move around it, it's just going to take more power over us and control us. And that's what's in your A circle is controlling you or taking power away from you. By knowing that, then you can manage it better and practice it. And that's what inside out mentality is, giving people the ability to move toward what they want one step at a time from a congruent standpoint, from a mind body connection. As I'm mentally connected to what I want to do physically, I can do that and move forward from that mentality. That's what's going to give me the best opportunity to perform in my potential from an aligned perspective to go after the goals that I want.
Yeah. That's how you have the mental edge over your opponent.
Yes.
In whatever you do. Really.
Okay. Thanks for being here, Alex.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next episode, I hope.
Good.
All right. Everybody have a great day.